Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the ultimate deep dive into the glittering yet mysterious world of K-pop's elite. The global phenomenon BTS paused their world domination for mandatory military service. A period typically defined by grit, sweat, and rough camouflage. But wait, why? Does it feel like the visuals have actually ascended to a god-tier level amidst the mud and drills? It's the question whispering through every fandom forum and trending hashtag. Did the military break turn into a secret visual upgrade? We've analyzed the grainy photos, the discharge line, and the sudden changes in jawlines and profiles that have left experts and fans alike scratching their heads. From subtle skin treatments to rumors of structural tweaks, the speculation is hotter than dynamite. Today, we are ranking the top 7 BTS members based on the intensity of these touch-up suspicions, who strictly embrace the natural soldier life and whose features seem suspiciously refined. And the biggest mystery of all those, number 1, really sport a completely different nose profile. Prepare your magnifying glasses and open your minds, because what we're about to reveal might just change how you see their return. Are you ready to uncover the secrets behind the glow-up? Let's start the countdown! Number 7. RM, the unflinching leader. Raw masculinity unleashed. We kick off this controversial yet fascinating countdown at the 7th spot with none other than the leader of the pack, the philosophical anchor of the group, Kim Namjoon, globally known as RM. Why does he land at number 7? The lowest on our suspicion scale for cosmetic because, ladies and gentlemen, a deep forensic analysis of his military tenure reveals that the only thing RM touched up was his sheer physical mass and his undeniable aura of authority. When RM first announced his enlistment, the world held its breath, wondering how the poetic soul behind Indigo would fare in the harsh, regimented environment of the South Korean army. Yet what emerged was not a man trying to preserve a delicate idol image through secret procedures, but a warrior embracing the raw, unfiltered reality of service with a fervor that actually shocked the faint. Let's rewind to the moment he shaved that iconic head. The buzz cut is the ultimate truth teller for facial features because there is nowhere to hide. No bangs to cover the forehead. No styling to frame the jaw! And in RM's case, this exposure only solidified the fact that his features have remained strikingly consistent, albeit hardened by the elements. Observers and aesthetic experts noting his transition from the wildflower era to his role in the 5th Infantry Division have pointed out that his facial structure, particularly his nose and eyes, has retained that signature natural charm that he has carried since debut, effectively debunking any major plastic surgery rumors for him during this period. However, what has changed, and this is why he is on the list, at all lists, the texture and volume of his face due to an intense, almost gladiatorial physical transformation. Reports confirmed that RM bulked up significantly, hitting a weight of over 75 kilograms. A deliberate choice to build stamina for the rigorous training. And this weight gain filled out his cheeks and softened the hollows under his eyes, creating a healthier glow that some mistook for fillers. But let's be real, that is just pure, unadulterated muscle and carbohydrate intake necessary for survival in the barracks. The touch-up here is biological, not surgical. Look closely at the viral photos of him playing the saxophone in the military band. The intense sun exposure has given him a tan that no foundation can mimic. And the slight weathering of his skin speaks to hours of drills under the scorching sun and freezing winds. A far cry from the dermatologist-curated glass skin of his idle days. Yet this ruggedness has been hailed as a visual upgrade by fans who are swooning over this newfound, gritty masculinity. There's a specific detail that drives the fans wild and shuts down the surgery rumors. His eyes. The monolids are as sharp and piercing as ever, but the intense discipline of the military has given him a 1,000-yard stare. A look of focused determination that changes his facial expression entirely, making him look more mature, more dangerous, and infinitely more attractive without a single needle touching his face. Furthermore, unlike the other members we will discuss later, who have sparked heated debates about nose bridges and jaw implants, RM's profile remains completely loyal to his heritage, with a slight bump on his nose, bridge still visible in side profile shots, serving as definitive proof that he hasn't gone under the knife to straighten it out for a perfect silhouette. The narrative around RM is one of embracing the anti-idol aesthetic. He posted updates showing the chaotic reality of his service, often looking sweaty, tired, but incredibly alive, which stands in stark contrast to the perfectly curated selfies we are used to. This transparency is key. If he had undergone cosmetic tweaks, there would be a period of hiding, a time of wearing masks or avoiding the camera to let the swelling go down. But RM has been arguably the most visible member, constantly appearing in official military band photos and updates, leaving absolutely no window of time for recovery from a procedure. The suspicion level here is near zero, but the impact is at an all-time high. He proves that the best work you can get done is internal confidence manifesting externally. Fans have noted that his jawline looks sharper, not because of shaving the bone, but because he lost the soft fat of civilian life and replaced it with the lean, hard lines of a soldier. It's a testament to how lifestyle changes, rather than surgical ones, can completely overhaul a person's visual identity. The Edie Utainaman takeaway here is that RM represents the baseline of natural aging and adaptation. He shows us what a human body does. When pushed to its limits, it hardens, it darkens, and it grows. So, why is he on a list about suspected touch-up? Because the change was so drastic that people asked the question, only to find the answer was hard work. He is the control group in this experiment, the one we compare everyone else to, while rumors swirl about others refining their noses or lifting their eyelids. RM is out there, proving that a buzz cut and a saxophone are the ultimate accessories. He didn't fix his face. He fixed his mindset, and his face followed suit. This is the Jungkook era, a time where his visual appeal is derived from strength rather than delicacy. As we move up this list, the evidence will get the photos will get more suspicious, and the changes will seem less like gym gains and more like clinic claims. But for now, at number 7, we salute Kim Namjoon for keeping it 100% organic, raw, and undeniably real, setting a high bar for natural beauty in a uniform. His transformation challenges the K-pop beauty standard that favors the ethereal and pale. He is selling us General Kim, a look that says he can lead a platoon and top the Billboard charts simultaneously. It is a visual narrative of growth, literally and figuratively, and it sets the perfect stage for the mysteries we are about to unravel. If RM is the baseline of natural, then just how artificial do things get as we approach number 1? Hold on to your seats, because the clarity of RMF's case is about to be replaced by the foggy, speculative, and highly controversial rumors surrounding the next members. Who is next? Who might have used their vacation days for a quick visit to a Gangnam clinic? The military hides many secrets, but the high-definition lens of the paparazzi hides nothing. Number 6. J-Hope, the radiant drill instructor, defying the elements with suspicious perfection. Moving up the ladder of curiosity to the 6th position, we encounter the group's eternal sunshine. The dance commander turned terrifying drill instructor Jung Hoseok, better known to the world as J-Hope, while RM at number 7 represented the rugged, sun-beaten transformation of a soldier. J-Hope presents a baffling paradox. That lands him at number 6! How in the world does a man responsible for the grueling training of recruits in the 36th Infantry Division's white Huron unit manage to maintain a complexion that looks like it has been soaked in the finest essences of a Gangnam dermatology clinic every single night? The suspicion here isn't about structural changes like a new nose or a chin implant, but rather about the miraculous, almost unnatural preservation of his glass skin and the blinding whiteness of his smile amidst the mud, dust, and UV radiation of an army base in Wonju. When J-Hope enlisted, fans expected the jack-in-the-box grittiness to take over, anticipating a weathering effect similar to what we saw with other idols who serve in active duty. Yet what we witnessed was a visual timeline that seemed to freeze, or dare I say, reverse. Let's dissect the reality of his role first to understand why this is so suspicious. As an assistant drill instructor, J-Hope wasn't just sitting in an office. He was out in the field, leading marches, demonstrating tactical maneuvers and screaming commands until his voice went hoarse. a lifestyle that typically wreaks havoc on the skin, causing breakouts, hyperpigmentation from sun exposure, and deep lines from dehydration and stress. However, every single official photo released by the military app or candid shots from trainees' families showed with skin so luminous it reflected the flash of the camera, leading top aesthetic experts and netizens to speculate that his touch-up regime was less about surgery and more about aggressive maintenance that goes beyond standard skincare. The rumors swirling around J-Hope point specifically to the use of skin boosters, like Regeneron Healer or exosome therapy during his vacation days. Treatments that are incredibly popular in South Korea for regenerating skin barriers and providing that signature water glow look from within, which would explain why his face never looked dull even after a 20-kilometer march. It is practically impossible to achieve that level of porelessness with just canteen water and army-issued soap. Furthermore, there is the matter of his teeth. J-Hope's smile is his trademark. But observers noted that, even after months of drinking army coffee and eating field rations, his teeth remained blindingly white, sparking whispers of professional teeth whitening, maintenance, or even the use of high-end veneers that resist staining. A subtle touch-up that keeps his idol image pristine even in camouflage. The narrative here is fascinating because it contrasts his terrifying reputation as a tiger instructor, a nickname given to him by trainees who described his strictness and intimidating aura with his soft, glowing visual presentation. How can someone be so fearsome yet look so soft? This cognitive dissonance is what fuels the touch-up theories. Fans have analyzed the texture of his skin in 4K resolution during his brief leave updates, looking for the telltale signs of laser treatments like Fraxel or Thermage, which tighten the skin and erase sun damage, arguing that his jawline looks tighter not just from weight loss, but perhaps from known invasive lifting procedures like all therapy, which uses ultrasound to lift the skin without surgery. It is a subtle suspicion, one that respects his natural features but questions the biology of his aging process. In a normal timeline, the stress of military service accelerates aging. It is known as the military tax on J-Hope seems to have evaded this tax entirely. Perhaps through a secret dossier of dermatological appointments squeezed into his leave schedule. The edutainment angle here forces you to look at the massive industry of maintenance procedures that blur the line between natural beauty and cosmetic enhancements. It's not plastic surgery in the traditional sense of cutting and stitching, but it is a form of biohacking. The face to resist the environment. J-Hope at number 6 represents the pinnacle of high-maintenance natural, a category where the suspect isn't a surgeon's scalpel, but a dermatologist's laser. We also cannot ignore the speculation regarding his eyes. The double eyelid creases appear deeper and more defined in recent photos compared to his more music video era, which some attribute to weight loss, removing while others whisper about non-incisional blepharoplasty or simply the use of eyelid tape to maintain the shape. Though this is less likely given the strict rules of the military. What keeps him at number 6 and not higher is the lack of drastic structural change. He still looks undeniably like Hobie, with his high cheekbones and distinct nose silhouette unchanged. The touch-up is in the texture, the glow, the uncanny perfection that defies the laws of nature and army living conditions. It's as if he brought his own personal lighting crew and humidity control system into the barracks. This level of visual preservation suggests a dedication to self-care that borders on the obsessive, or perhaps the assistance of modern aesthetic medicine that allows a superstar to press pause on facial weathering. His discharge is imminent, and the world is waiting to see if high-definition cameras will reveal any scars or signs of procedures. But for now, J-Hope stands as a mystery of dermatology. A soldier who marched through hell and came out looking like he just stepped off a facialist's bed. Is it just good genes? An expensive moisturizer? Or is there a monthly appointment in Seoul that keeps the Hope world shining so bright? As we move to the top 5, the changes will become more structural, the rumors more intense, and the touch-ups less about maintenance and more about transformation. But for now, we marvel at the Teflon-faced drill instructor who refused to let the military dim his glow. It is a testament to the power of Ka beauty standards, penetrating even the most masculine and rugged environments on Earth. Number 5. Suga, the Phantom of Public Service, hiding a secret transformation in the shadows. Entering the top 5, we descend into the realm of absolute mystery and high-stakes speculation with the group's genius producer and rapper, Min Yoongi, alias Suga, alias Aguste. If RM was the open book and J-Hope was the glowing paradox, Suga lands at number 5 because he has become the invisible man of the military. A ghost whose complete disappearance from the public eye has birthed the wildest conspiracy theories regarding cosmetic overhauls, unlike his bandmates who serve in active duty and are occasionally spotted in military band photos or training sketches. Suga serves as a social service agent due to his past shoulder surgery, a role that allows him to commute from home and work a standard 9-to-5 schedule. This specific detail is the smoking gun for touch-up detectives. While active duty soldiers are stuck in barracks with zero privacy, Suga effectively lives a civilian life after hours, granting him unrestricted access to the best aesthetic clinics in Seoul every single evening and weekend. The suspicion here is driven by the logic of opportunity rather than visible evidence, creating a Schrodinger's cat scenario where his visuals are in a state of quantum superposition, simultaneously unchanged and completely reconstructed until he reveals himself. Industry insiders have long whispered that the social service period is the golden time for male celebrities to undergo procedures that require significant downtime, such as extensive laser resurfacing for acne scarring, fat grafting to balance facial asymmetry, or even subtle rhinoplasty revisions, because they can wear masks and hats during their commute and recover in the comfort of their own luxury apartments without prying eyes. For Suga, the specific focus of the rumors centers on his jawline and cheek volume. Historically, Yoongi has struggled with facial bloating and weight fluctuation, often joking about looking like a dumpling in the mornings. Yet recent, albeit rare and blurry, glimpses of him at private gatherings suggest a jawline so sharp it could cut glass, leading to hushed debates about whether he utilized this time for buccal fat removal or high-intensity therapy to permanently sculpt his lower face. The edutainment analysis here dives into the psychology of his silence. Suga is a master strategist. He knows that emerging from the shadows with a drastic glow-up after 2 years of silence creates the maximum impact. Remember his D-Day tour? He looked exhausted, pushing his body to the limit, his face showing the strain of a grueling world tour. The military service acts as a forced hiatus, and fans suspect he is using this time not just to rest his shoulder, but to biologically reset his entire aesthetic. There are also rumors concerning his skin texture, having battled with skin issues in his youth. This extended break away from stage makeup and harsh studio lighting, combined with the potential for aggressive dermatological treatments like Fraxel, which leaves the face red and peeling for days, impossible for an active idol, but perfect for a social service agent on a long weekend, could mean he returns with a complexion that rivals a porcelain doll. Why is he number 5 and not higher? Because unlike the members higher on this list, we have almost zero photographic evidence to corroborate the theories. It is all based on the terrifying potential of what he is doing in the dark. The silence is loud. Is he just playing video games and sleeping? Or is he meticulously curating a visual renaissance? Some keen-eyed fans noted that in the very few instances he was seen, like a Jin's discharge, he covered almost his entirely face, leaving only his eyes visible, which appeared wider and more alert, sparking minor rumors of upper blepharoplasty to correct any drooping. A common procedure for men in their 30s to look more youthful and awake. But the biggest touch-up suspicion remains his overall silhouette. Typically, social service agents gain weight due to the sedentary nature of the job compared to active duty. Yet reports suggest Suga has slimmed down significantly, leading to speculation about metabolic management treatments or liposuction. Though it is just as likely to be his renowned discipline, Suga represents the strategic enhancement category of our list. He is the member most likely to treat his visual maintenance like a production project, efficient and revealed only when it is perfect. He is the wild when he finally stands in front of a 4,000 camera again. Will we see the same Yoongi, or will we see a refined, sharper, an eerily perfect version of August D that confirms he spent his service not just filing paperwork, but filing down imperfections? The suspense is killing the fandom, and that ambiguity is exactly why he secures the 5th spot. He has the means, the time, and the motive to pull off the ultimate undercover beauty heist. Number 4. Jimin, the ethereal commando. Did the Moochie cheeks get sculpted by science? Landing squarely in the middle of our countdown at number 4 is the global icon of androgynous beauty. The man who can silence a stadium with a single hair flip? Park Jimin. If RM was about natural ruggedness and Suga was about strategic secrecy, Jimin introduces a category of suspicion that borders on the supernatural. The Benjamin Button effect of the artillery unit, when Jimin enlisted alongside Jungkook in the 5th Infantry Division, known for its grueling artillery training. Fans prepared themselves for the heartbreaking loss of his signature Moochie cheeks that soft, plush facial fat that gave him his youthful, angelic appearance despite being a grown man, expecting the harsh diet and physical exhaustion to hollow out his face into a gaunt shadow of his former self. But stop right there and look at the evidence. The leaked photos from the boot camp, completion, ceremony, and the rare glimpses we've had of him during his service have sent shockwaves through the cosmetic surgery forums of Gangnam because Jimin doesn't just look the same. He looks suspiciously younger, tighter, and more sculpted, sparking intense rumors of high-level, non-surgical interventions. The primary suspect here! The masseter Botox and filler! Balancing conspiracy! Let's break down the anatomy of this rumor with the precision of a surgeon. Jimin has historically had a rounder jawline, which is part of his charm. But recent images show a jawline that is razor-sharp, almost geometrically perfect. Yet and here is the kicker: his lips remain as plump and hydrated as a blooming rose in the desert. Medical aesthetic experts point out that when a person loses significant weight, naturally due to military training which Jimin clearly has, given his slender frame, they typically lose volume everywhere, meaning the lips should shrink and the face should look tired. However, Jimin's lips have retained their iconic volume, leading to whispers that he might be utilizing lip fillers or lip flip Botox treatments during his leave to maintain that signature pout against the laws of thermodynamics. Furthermore, the masseter Botox theory suggests that he might be injecting neurotoxins into his jaw muscles to prevent them from bulking up due to the stress of clenching his teeth during heavy lifting, thereby keeping his face small and refined. Technique known as facial slimming that is rampant in the industry but rarely discussed in the context of active soldiers. But the intrigue deepens when we look at his skin tone. Jimin is famous for his pale, fair complexion, but the military involves hours of standing in the scorching sun and freezing wind. While his arms and hands appear tanned in photos, his face remains uncannily pale and translucent. This discrepancy has fueled the wildest rumor of them all: the use of Cinderella injections or glutathione for drips, which are potent antioxidants used to whiten skin and boost immunity. Is it possible that on his days off, Jimin is receiving these treatments not just for health, but to chemically prevent melanin production in his face? The contrast between his war hero uniform and his idle face is so jarring that it feels like a glitch in the Matrix. Fans have also zoomed in 500% on his eyelids. Jimin has a unique eye shape, often swelling in the mornings, but his military eyes look consistently wide and alert, lacking the puffiness associated with sleep deprivation in the barracks, raising questions about whether he used a subtle thread lift to keep his brows elevated and his eyes open, giving him that intense, piercing gaze even when exhausted. The emotional narrative here is one of desperate preservation for an idol whose brand is built on ethereal, fairy-like beauty. The military is a hostile environment designed to destroy that very aesthetic. Jimin's placement at number 4 is driven by the sheer impossibility of his visuals. How does one load heavy artillery shells, crawl through mud, and sleep in a barrack with 10 other men, yet emerge looking like he just finished a Vogue cover shoot? The edutainment aspect forces us to consider the pressure these men face. They know the world is watching every pixel of their low-quality military photos. Every acne scar, every wrinkle, every ounce of fat is Jimin's touch-up suspicion isn't about changing his face to look like someone else. It's about freezing his face in time, fighting the aging acceleration of war with the best tools modern dermatology can offer. It is a battle on two fronts: the enemy across the border and the enemy of aging in the mirror. There is also a fascinating discussion regarding his nose. While number 1 on our list has the most controversial nose rumors, Jimin's nose has appeared slightly more defined and button-like in recent shots, leading to speculation of non-surgical rhinoplasty using fillers to sharpen the tip, ensuring his side profile remains perfect even under the unflattering brim of a military helmet. The dichotomy of Jimin is that he is the artillery fairy, a lethal weapon wrapped in a package of porcelain perfection. Is it just his superior genetics? Or is there a team of aesthetic magicians working overtime during his vacation days to ensure the moochie never goes stale? The suspicion is high, the evidence is visual, and the mystery is intoxicating. He proves that you can take the idol out of the stage. But you can't take the stage-ready maintenance out of the idol, even in a war zone. As we climb to the top 3, the touch-ups stop being about maintenance and start looking a lot more like structural changes that will leave you gasping for air. Who could possibly be more suspicious than the ageless Park Jimin? The countdown is getting hotter and the secrets are getting deeper. Number 3! Kim Tae-young, the Special Forces cyborg. Did the SDT training forge a new jawline? We have breached the top 3! And here is where the rumors shift from maidens to full-blown structural claiming the bronze medal of suspicion is the visual god himself, Kim Tae-young, who shocked the world by volunteering for the elite special duty team S, a counterterrorism unit known for training that breaks the human spirit and body. But here lies the paradox that lands him at number 3. Instead of breaking him, the SDT seems to have sculpted him into a completely different physical specimen, fueling intense speculation that his transformation involved more than just push. The most explosive rumor surrounding V is the jawline reconstruction theory. Before enlistment, V possessed a softer, boyish jawline that perfectly framed his ethereal features. However, recent photos of him in his black SDT uniform reveal a jawline so wide, so angular, and so incredibly masculine that it has sparked debates about whether he jaw filler, augmentation, or even custom implant procedures to balance his face with his massive new neck muscles. Let's look at the biology. V gained over 10 kilograms of pure muscle, a requirement for the heavy gear of the SDT. But muscle gain typically widens the neck and can make the face look rounder or bull-like. Yet, Via's face has retained a sharp, Via-shaped taper, pun intended. Despite the bulk, a feat that is aesthetically contradictory and highly suspicious of cosmetic intervention to maintain facial harmony, experts have pointed out that his chin appears slightly more projected and square than before. A common result of chin wing fillers used to give men a more heroic, comic book superhero profile. Is it possible that V, knowing he would be bulking up, proactively touched up his facial structure to ensure his head didn't look too small for his new body? The internet thinks so. But the touch-ups don't stop at the jaw. Let's talk about the SDT eyes. 5 is famous for his uneven eyelids. 1 double eyelid butt. In recent military footage, both eyes appear deeply creased and strikingly symmetrical, leading to whispers of non-incisional Tosi's correction. Why would he do this? In the SDT, vision and alertness are paramount. Perhaps a medical need to keep his eyes fully open dovetailed perfectly with an aesthetic upgrade. Or perhaps the extreme weight loss in his face from the grueling Hell Week training simply removed the fat pads from his eyelids, exposing the structure underneath. The ambiguity is maddening. And then there is the skin. SDT operatives train in urban warfare environments, rappelling down buildings and crawling through debris. Yet, V was spotted patrolling at a festival, looking like he was walking a saline runway, with skin that was not just clear, but glassy. This has reignited the rumor of PDRN injections, salmon DNA, a regenerative treatment popular among elite actors to heal skin instantly and provide a supernatural glow. Could the military's most dangerous soldier also be its most pampered dermatology patient? The edutainment value here is the clash between the pretty boy image and the killer reality. V is effectively destroying the stereotype that you cannot be beautiful and lethal simultaneously. His touch-up suspicion is unique because it enhances his intimidation factor. He doesn't look like a K-pop idol anymore. He looks like a CGI character from a war video game, too perfect to be real. There is also the matter of his ears. Rumors swirled that he might have had otoplasty or ear pinning, as his ears seemed to sit closer to his head in the buzz-cut look. Though this is likely an optical illusion caused by the lack of hair volume. Still, the fact that people are checking his ears shows the level of scrutiny he is under. V at number 3 represents the weaponized beauty phenomenon. Did he go under the needle to look like the ultimate soldier? The drastic shift from the slender, artistic V to this hulking, sharp-jawed commando is so jarring that many refuse to believe it is 100% natural. He is the visual definition of leveling up, and whether that level up came from the gym or a syringe, the result is terrifyingly handsome. But if VA's transformation is this intense, what on earth could number 2 and number 1 have done to rank higher? Prepare yourself, because the next entry involves the Golden Matinee and a controversy that has the fandom divided. Number 2. Jin, the vampire of the front lines, did worldwide handsome defy biology with secret injections. We have arrived at the penultimate position, the silver medalist of suspicion, and the man who literally broke the internet by walking out of the military looking younger than the day he walked in. Kim C, the self-proclaimed worldwide handsome and the eldest member of BTS. While the other members on this list faced rumors of structural tweaks or maintenance, Jin lands at number 2 for a much more baffling and scientifically frustrating reason. The case of the missing aging process. When Jin enlisted in December 2022, there was a collective fear that the grueling reality of being an assistant drill role, notorious for high stress, sleep deprivation, and screaming commands until the vocal cords shred, would finally crack his perfect porcelain facade. But fast forward to his discharge in June 2024, and the world gasped in unison. Why? Because Jin didn't just look good. He looked like he had spent 18 months in a cryogenic hyperbaric oxygen chamber rather than a dusty army base in Yod. The touch-up suspicion here is heavy on the preventative Botox and stem cell therapy theories. Let's dissect the anatomy of this miracle with the skepticism of a plastic surgeon. The most glaring piece of evidence is his forehead. For the first time in a decade, Jin's forehead was fully exposed due to the mandatory military buzz cut. Typically, men in their 30s who spend their days frowning under the sun and shouting instructions develop what dermatologists call dynamic rhytids, or expression lines on the forehead and between the brows. Yet, high-resolution photos of Jin at the training center showed a forehead so smooth, so tight, and so reflective that it looked like a polished marble slab. This led to intense speculation that Jin underwent micro-Botox treatments, a technique where tiny amounts of neurotoxin are injected into the superficial layers of the skin to erase pores and fine lines without freezing the muscle. Completely during his vacation leaves. How else does a 31-year-old man scream at trainees for hours and not develop a single worry line? It defies the laws of facial mechanics. Furthermore, there is the cheek volume conspiracy. As men age, they naturally lose fat in the mid-face, leading to a tired, sagging look, especially under extreme weight loss conditions, like military training. Jin, however, returned with the apple of his cheeks perfectly plump and lifted, giving him that signature hamster-like youthfulness. Experts have whispered about the possibility of Sculptra injections, a biostimulator that encourages the body to produce its own collagen, keeping the face full and bouncy over a long period, perfect for a soldier who can't get frequent tape-up. The timeline fits perfectly. These treatments take months to show full effect, coinciding exactly with his discharge. Then, let's talk about the hugging event controversy. When Jin hugged 1,000 fans immediately after discharge, thousands of eyewitnesses saw him up close, inches away, without stage lighting or filters. The consensus was terrifying. His skin has no texture. In the harsh light of day, human skin should have pores, scars, or uneven tones. Jin's skin was described as blur effect in real life, fueling rumors of exosome for drips and pico laser treatments that obliterate pigment and regenerate cells at a molecular level. Did he turn the military infirmary into a private spa? The edutainment angle here forces us to question the standard of male beauty in Korea. Jin is the Math-young oldest brother, yet he is aging backwards. Is this just the result of a clean? diet and regular sleep schedules in the army? Or is it the masterpiece of modern aesthetic medicine? There is also a subtle but persistent rumor regarding his lips. His famous plump lower lip appeared even more defined and hydrated upon his return, sparking debates about hyaluronic acid hydration boosters injected directly into the vermilion border to maintain that lush, kissable look despite the dehydration of field training. Jin at number 2 represents the supernatural preservation category. He didn't change his face. He seemingly embalmed it in perfection. The suspicion isn't that he got a new nose or a new jaw, but that he refused to let a single cell on his face die. It is a level of maintenance that feels almost alien. Fans joked that the military water must be special. But skeptics argue that the water was likely a cocktail of vitamins and peptides, administered in a Gangnam VIP room. He sets the stage for our number 1 spot by proving that in the world of BTS, natural is a relative term. If Jin can freeze time, what did number 1 do to change the very structure of his face? The gap between number 2 and number 1 is the gap between preservation and transformation. We have marveled at Jin's refusal to age, but now we must turn our eyes to the member whose recent photos have sparked the wildest, most specific, and most controversial debate of the entire military era. The nose, the profile, the absolute shock. Who is number 1? And is the change real, or is it just a trick of the light? Prepare for the final reveal. Number 1. Jungkook, the Golden McNay's total reconstruction. Did the kitchen police life hide a secret rhinoplasty revision? Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the summit, the apex, the absolute epicenter of visual controversy. Taking the crown at number 1 is the man who didn't just return from the military. He seemingly respawned as a completely different character class, Jeon Yoongu. If Jin was about freezing time and V was about hardening the shell, Jungkook represents the most radical, jaw-dropping, and debate-fueling transformation of them all, centered around one specific burning question that has torn the internet apart. What happened to his nose? Since his debut, Jungkook's nose has been a topic of endearment and scrutiny. Famous for its strong bridge and distinct masculine size that anchored his bunny-like features, but recent glimpses of him serving as a cook food service specialist in the 5th Infantry Division have triggered a tsunami of speculation that his golden time away from the spotlight was used for a golden ratio adjustment. Let's dive deep into the rhinoplasty revision conspiracy that has landed him the top spot. The rumors ignited when a grainy, low-quality photo of Jungkook surfaced during a military ceremony, showing a side profile that looked suspiciously straighter. Fans and amateur forensic analysts immediately pointed out that the slight dorsal hump, a charming, natural bump on the bridge of his nose that he has had for years, appeared to have vanished, replaced by a smooth, ski slope silhouette that is the hallmark of top-tier Gangnam cosmetic surgery. Is it possible? Could the Golden McNay have utilized the weeks prior to his enlistment, or a long medical leave to undergo osteotomy, shave another bone to refine his profile for his 30s? The suspicion is fueled by the fact that Jungkook covered his face heavily with masks and hoods in the weeks leading up to his admission, a classic behavior known in the industry as downtime hiding. But the nose is just the tip of the iceberg. The touch-up theories surrounding Jungkook are holistic. Let's talk about the face harmony shift. Jungkook gained massive amounts of muscle weight, reportedly hitting over 80 kilograms to handle the heavy lifting of rice sacks and industrial cooking pots. Typically, when the neck creates a trapezoid shape from muscle, the face looks smaller. But Jungkook's jawline has expanded to match his neck, creating a blockbuster hero squareness that experts argue is too perfect to be just calories. There are whispers of jawline filler contouring to ensure that his face didn't get swallowed by his massive traps, keeping his visual impactful even when he is hulking out. And then there is the scar dissolution mystery. We all know and love the iconic cheek scar he got from fighting with his brother over a computer game as a kid. In high-definition idol makeup, it's covered, but in raw military photos, it should be visible. Yet, in recent shots, that scar appears significantly fainter, leading to speculation that he is undergoing CO2 fractional laser treatments. during his breaks to finally erase the last imperfection on his face. The entertainment narrative here is fascinating because it touches on the psychology of the glow-up. Jungkook has always been the baby of the group, but this military era is his manhood ritual. The suspicion of a nose job or facial restructuring is essentially the public struggling to accept that the baby bunny is gone, replaced by a war dog. However, the counter-argument is just as strong. Weight loss in the face, despite body bulk, can reveal the underlying bone structure more sharply, making the nose look bigger or straighter simply because the cheek fat is gone. Is it anatomy or is it artistry? The debate rages on. We also cannot ignore the eye-widening theory. Jungkook's eyes have always been big, but the Sanpaku aspect, whites visible below the iris, seems more pronounced. A look often achieved by lower eyelid retraction surgery to give a more intense wolf-like gaze, perfect for his new heavy metal aesthetic. Why is he number one? Because the change in his nose represents the ultimate touch-up taboo. Changing the nose changes the character of the face entirely. If he really did tweak it, it signals a new era for BTSN era of perfectionism that transcends natural charm. The mystery is compounded by his role as a cook. It's the perfect cover! I'm just eating well, he says on Weavers, while potentially recovering from a subtle alarplasty to narrow the nostrils. The ambiguity is delicious. He is the final boss of our list because looking at him feels like looking at a familiar stranger, someone we know. But optimized, upgraded, and perhaps medically enhanced to survive the high-definition future that awaits him. Whether it's the result of surgical precision or just the sheer power of puberty finally finishing its job at age 27, Jungkook stands as the ultimate mystery of the military enlistment era. The nose knows, but it isn't talking. And so, we conclude our list with the biggest question mark of them all, leaving us to wonder, when they all stand together on stage again in 2025, will we be looking at the same boys we sent away? Or a team of visually perfected super... The truth is out there, hidden in the barracks.